adult communities are a hugely popular option with retirees these days. And they're also a really popular option with a whole lot of people who haven't yet retired too. But like pretty much everything else in life, there are advantages and disadvantages to living in one. And while they're pretty quick to tell you all the good stuff about living in a 55-plus community, they're not so quick to tell you about some of the things that you might not care for. So if you're looking to find out if living in an active adult community is right for you, just stick around and find out. Hi there, and welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie Frost, and this is where I talk about all things real estate in the Ocala and Marion County, Florida area. And if you're here looking for more information about active adult communities here in Ocala, you might want to watch the rest of my series on the 55-plus communities that goes into a little more detail about some of the more popular ones we have. So, what are the pros and cons of living in one of Ocala's 55-plus communities? Or any 55-plus community anywhere for that matter, because the benefits and disadvantages are going to be pretty much the same no matter where you are in the country. Let's start with the pros, shall we? Number one for most people would have to be the amenities. Most 55-plus communities have a ton of amenities like clubhouses and pools, fitness centers, tennis courts, and a wide range of clubs and activities for the residents. A lot of them are going to be built around golf courses too, so if golf is your thing, or you just like a golf course view, then that's going to be a big plus for you. And depending on the community, you're not limited to the basics like swimming pools and golf either. We have communities here in Ocala that offer things like archery fields, pottery studios, woodworking shops. We even have one community here that has an RC field where you can fly remote-controlled planes or drones. These are not your grandparents' retirement communities. And most 55-plus communities are pretty easy to get around in, because a lot of times you can go anywhere you might want to go inside the community by golf cart. And sometimes you can get pretty much anywhere you need to go outside the community by golf cart too, which is kind of fun. Number two on the list is just the fact that you're going to be living with a whole bunch of people who are at basically the same stage of life that you're in. And that can make it easier to socialize and find friends who enjoy the same activities that you do. Now, with most of these communities, there is always something going on. So no matter what you like to do for fun, it's not going to be hard to find somebody else to do it with. Do you like riding your bike in the mornings? Well, odds are there's a biking group in the community. Like to cook? There's probably a cooking group too. And if not, you can almost always start one. Even if you're a little bit of an introvert and have trouble meeting people to do things with, a 55-plus community might be just the thing for you, because there are so many things to do. And by their very nature, you're probably going to be meeting your neighbors on a regular basis, so you pretty much can't help but find new friends. Number three is that a lot of 55-plus communities allow you to have a low-maintenance lifestyle. Many communities will maintain your yard for you, and sometimes they even provide other exterior maintenance too, like exterior painting and even roof repair. This frees up your time, so you get to enjoy all that fun stuff that the community has to offer, instead of worrying about things like mowing the lawn. Number four is the Homeowners Association. Love them or hate them, having a Homeowners Association means that all the homes in the community will be kept up and well maintained, which in turn keeps your property values up. And nobody ever complained about keeping their property value up. At least not that I'm aware of. You'll never have to worry about your neighbor having 15 junk cars and a chicken coop in the yard in a 55-plus community. And number five on the list is security. Most 55-plus communities are gated and have some sort of security measures in place, so you can feel safe inside your community. You won't have to worry about strangers wandering around at night or people knocking on your door at all hours. Or at least if they do, it's going to be one of your neighbors, which, depending on your point of view, could be good, could be bad. But either way, that's a whole nother ballgame. But it's not all roses and puppy dogs living in a 55-plus community either. There are some cons to talk about too, and depending on your situation, some of them could very well be deal breakers for you. The first con to living in a 55-plus community would have to be the cost. All those amenities, maintenance, and security stuff, they cost money. And the community passes those costs along to the homeowners by way of a homeowners association fees. And as you can figure, the more stuff you get, the more money it's going to cost you. Now, we have communities here that pretty much just have a community pool and maybe a clubhouse. And those fees are pretty reasonable. They're usually around $150 a month. But once you get into some of the communities that have a ton of amenities, clubs, and groups, you could be looking at anywhere from $350 to well over $400 a month in HOA fees. And those fees increase as costs increase, so you got to make sure that you're budgeted for whatever community you're looking at. Number 2 on the cons list would be the fact that it is an age-restricted community. Most communities have rules about who can visit and how often. So if you have kids or grandkids that like to come and visit a lot, they might have to keep their visits shorter than you'd like, or otherwise make other arrangements for where to stay while they're visiting. Number 3 on the list is the lot size. These types of communities tend to have smaller lot sizes than you might be used to. And a lot of times you're going to be pretty up close and personal with the neighbors on either side, and probably in back too. Some communities have buffer zones in the back of the house, so you're not looking right into your neighbor's back porch, but not all of them do. So if you don't like seeing your neighbors on the regular, well, a 55 plus community might not be your thing. Now, number 4 on the cons list is coincidentally number 4 on the pros list too, and that is the Homeowners Association. All those rules that keep the homes looking nice and keep property values high can be pretty restricting, right down to having a master list of what plants you're allowed to plant in your yard and what kind of fence you're allowed to have and how many pets you're allowed to have in your very own home. And you can pretty much expect to have to get permission from the HOA for nearly everything. So there you have it, the pros and cons of living in a 55 plus community. And it's important to weigh the options carefully before making a choice. You might find that an active community is the perfect fit for your lifestyle and needs, or you might decide that it isn't for you after all. It's just going to depend on what you're most comfortable with and what your priorities are. So if you're thinking about making a move to an active adult community in the Marion County area, and maybe you have some questions, get in touch and I'd be happy to help you find the right fit. Or help you decide if a 55 plus community is even where you really want to be, for that matter. And until next time, take care and I'll see you soon.